The escape of Richard Matt and David Sweat. In June 2015, the escape of two convicted murderers from the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York, shocked the nation and triggered a massive manhunt. This escape involved a mix of meticulous planning, inside assistance, and eventual chaos, becoming one of the most notable prison breaks in recent American history. The prison and its inmates, Clinton Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison, housed some of New York's most dangerous criminals. Among them were Richard Matt and David Sweat. Richard Matt, 48, had been serving a 25-year sentence for killing and dismembering his former boss. David Sweat, 34, was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a sheriff's deputy. Both men had developed a friendship while incarcerated, and they began to plot their escape. The planning phase. The escape plan was set into motion with the assistance of Joyce Mitchell, a civilian worker at the prison who had been a friend to both men. Mitchell was reportedly involved in a romantic relationship with Matt and had developed a close bond with Sweat as well. Over time, Mitchell became a crucial player in their escape plan. In the months leading up to the escape, Matt and Sweat had begun gathering tools for their escape, which included hacksaw blades, chisels, and other items that they were able to smuggle out of the prison workshops. They used these tools to cut through the steel walls of their cells and to break into the catwalks above. This careful preparation went unnoticed by the prison authorities for quite some time. The night of the escape. On the night of June 5, 2015, the escape was set into motion. Matt and Sweat used their collected tools to cut through the walls of their cells and make their way into the prison's interior. They navigated through the darkened corridors, utilizing the prison's layout to avoid detection. Once outside their cells, they crawled through a series of tunnels and pipes, eventually reaching the exterior wall of the prison. There, they encountered the final obstacle, a large fence topped with razor wire. They managed to scale the wall and escape into the woods surrounding the prison. Joyce Mitchell had arranged for their getaway vehicle to be waiting, but when the time came, she panicked and did not follow through with the plan. Despite this setback, Matt and Sweat made their way into the woods, ready to start their new lives as fugitives. The manhunt begins. The escape was quickly discovered when a prison guard noticed the absence of the two inmates. A search ensued, and the prison went into lockdown. Within hours, local law enforcement and state police began mobilizing resources for the manhunt. The New York State Police launched a massive search operation involving hundreds of officers, helicopters, and tracking dogs. Media coverage of the escape was extensive, and the public was captivated by the story of the two escaped convicts. While Matt and Sweat were initially able to evade capture, they were not without challenges. Living off the land, they foraged for food and sought shelter in abandoned cabins and other structures in the woods. Life on the run. For several weeks, Matt and Sweat evaded law enforcement. They initially traveled together, but their paths would soon diverge. As they navigated the wilderness, the tension between them grew. Matt, known for his aggressive personality, began to exert control over the escape. Reports indicated that he was prone to violent outbursts, which created a rift in their partnership. After about a week of evasion, the men split up. Sweat believed it was safer to go their separate ways. He moved to a different area while Matt, feeling emboldened, continued to push deeper into the woods. The police were relentless, using helicopters and drones to comb the area in search of the fugitives. Joyce Mitchell's arrest. While Matt and Sweat were on the run, Joyce Mitchell faced intense scrutiny. Eventually, she was arrested and charged with various offenses, including providing contraband to the inmates and aiding in their escape. During her interrogation, she revealed details of the escape plan and her role in it. Mitchell claimed that she had intended to leave her husband for Matt, and that the escape plan had spiraled out of control. Her testimony became critical in understanding how the inmates had executed their escape and what led to their eventual capture, the capture of Richard Matt. On June 26, 2015, after a 3-week manhunt, Richard Matt was finally located by law enforcement. He had been hiding out in the woods near Malone, New York. During a confrontation with police, he was shot and killed after he allegedly aimed a weapon at officers. The circumstances of his death were the culmination of an intense and desperate search. Matt's death marked a turning point in the manhunt, leading authorities to focus their efforts entirely on David Sweat. The capture of David Sweat. David Sweat was captured just days later, on June 28, 2015. He was found by law enforcement officers in a wooded area approximately 30 miles from the prison. Unlike Matt, Sweat surrendered without incident. He was taken back into custody and returned to the Clinton Correctional Facility. In the wake of the escape, the prison faced intense scrutiny. An internal investigation revealed numerous security lapses and a culture of neglect. As a result, several prison employees were fired or disciplined for their roles in the events that led to the escape. Aftermath and consequences. The escape of Matt and Sweat had far-reaching consequences. In addition to the immediate legal repercussions for Joyce Mitchell and the prison staff, the incident sparked a nationwide conversation about prison security and the treatment of inmates. The New York State Department of Corrections implemented significant changes in policies and procedures to prevent such incidents from happening in the future. Richard Matt's and David Sweat's escape also led to broader discussions about the American prison system and the effectiveness of rehabilitation programs. Many experts argued that addressing the root causes of crime and focusing on rehabilitation could reduce the likelihood of future escapes and criminal behavior. The legacy of the escape. The Clinton Correctional Facility escape became a significant cultural touchpoint, inspiring various media portrayals, including documentaries, books, and even a television series. The story of Matt and Sweat is often cited as an example of the lengths to which individuals will go for freedom, as well as the complexities involved in the criminal justice system. In conclusion, the escape of Richard Matt and David Sweat was a dramatic and complex event that captured the attention of the nation. It highlighted issues within the prison system, the nature of criminal behavior, and the consequences of desperation. The story serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by law enforcement and the ongoing need for reform in the criminal justice system. This real-life account illustrates the intricacies of a prison escape, detailing not only the events of the escape itself, but also the subsequent repercussions that followed.